Welcome back, YouTube. We are making some great progress in PioFiore, so let's keep going. You can watch me play live at twitch.tv/Pinker NeonNova. I hope you enjoyed the video. Last time, we saw that our mobster boyfriend, soon-to-be boyfriend, murdered or tortured someone in front of us, so that was exciting. Hopefully it won't be as exciting or maybe hopefully that will be as exciting this time. We'll see. I make no promises. I don't know how long I'm going to play here today. I did have a migraine earlier today, but it seems to be waning here today now. So we'll play for a bit and see how we feel. All right, so last time Domenico was in jail. But he is now getting out of jail. He's some side character. Let's go. My mind was now occupied figuring out what kind of cannoli to prepare. Oh yeah, we're making him cannoli because we're a nice, good little girl who's doing a nice thing for other characters. Sorry, I'm turning the sound up on my end here so I can hear it better. And I hope it's not too loud for you guys. The clock showed it was just past 3. Everyone was enjoying their idle time. When suddenly, Nicola entered the salon in a hurry. He doesn't look well. Dante, bad news. Dante sensed something was wrong and nodded quietly with a stern look on his face. Domenico was found dead this morning. Looks like he was killed in his cell. Okay, I guess it's going to be an exciting chapter here today. The whole salon went silent the moment his words came out. Everyone, I need you all to be aware of something. I'm sure you all know how many of our Mothra brethren have been killed in Berlin. I'm thinking that Domenico's death was also somehow involved in that string of deaths. There's not much information to share yet, but I'll let you all know as I hear more. If you have to go out to town, stay in the open and keep your guard up. Understood? Nicola ended his announcement as Dante stood. They both walked out of the salon, most likely to have a meeting together. The men in the salon returned to their conversation with one another, but none of them seemed to believe what they just heard. Domenico. I couldn't fathom what happened either. I returned to my room and fell onto my bed. I faced imminent death here, the horrors back at the cell, and Domenico's death came to mind. Fear and sorrow continued in succession and burdened me beyond what I could endure. I wish I could speak with Nicola like before. Oh, a meanwhile story. We are going to watch that. Decisions. Perfect. Let's see what happens. Who is it? Oh, it's Nicola. Hi there, Orlok. Sorry for the sudden call. It's fine. It's work. Thank you. Do you have any leads on Domenico's death? As far as I know, there were no signs of An attack originating from outside the building. Odds are likely the perpetrator is someone on the inside. I see. Good to know. And I also checked on the matter you were interested in. It's true that there is money moving between Bishop Robert Rosenberg and the Lao Shu. Okay. Terminology. Bishop Rosenberg, a high-ranking official within the state of the church. He's very popular amongst the people and known as a man of virtue. Thank you, terminology. But she was attacked by the Lao Shu themselves. Bishop Rosenberg gave no such orders. I suspect the Lao Shu was planning on using her to deal with Bishop Rosenberg or to threaten him. Thank you, Orlok. You can't imagine the importance of your intel. Well, we'll see each other again. If anything happens, let me know. I took my leave from Orlok and quickly made my way back to the manor. After all, Dante asked to speak with me today. I'm back. Did you have something for me? The Valzone worked with the church to gain the power we now have in Berlin. Isn't that correct? What are you talking about? And the church is putting pressure on the laws mandated by the Kingdom of Italy, which is why our area is classified as extraterritorial. But why? The church is losing their hold on things. The fact that Domenico was killed in jail is proof that they are losing ground here. We need her in order to protect the Falzone family. I'm important. Don't tell me. I called her here. She should arrive shortly. I'll do the talking. I just need you here. She will feel better with you around. He's so serious. I love him. Understood. It was a bit earlier than I expected, but the time to act finally arrived. I wish I could speak with Nicola like before. I wanted to hear his voice. But I squeezed the pillow in my arms and tried to turn a blind eye to reality. Dante called me to come to his office. Come in. Come in? I don't remember his voice. Meh. Buongiorno, Dante. And Nicola, you're here too? I could tell they had something important to tell me from the tension in the air. So, you wanted to see me? I wanted to handle everything without your involvement, but I'm sorry, Dante. But can you stop there? Huh? We're gonna get a CG! This is the best part of the game. Nicola suddenly cradled me gently into his outreached arm. But it wasn't a simple embrace. Oh! What? I don't remember this part. It's been so long since I played it. I felt something cold and hard pressed against my forehead. It didn't take long for me to realize it was Nicola's gun. Nicola? Why are you being shady today? What is this about, Nicola? I'm leaving the foul zone. What? Ah, you be quiet for a moment. Make one move and I'll pull the trigger. Same to you, Dante. Move and she's done for. My dress is really cute. Focus. Focus. What is going on here? We're gonna do something dumb. Because it's fun to do dumb things. Try to escape. Nicola, what are you doing? I tried to escape from his hold by jerking from side to side. I'm just doing something I've been thinking of for a while now. There's no use keeping me hostage. Your value is something Dante will decide. Moving around gave me leeway in his grasp. I quickly escaped and ran to Dante. How sad. Whoop! I found a bad ending. Good job, me. Why am I on the ground? Was I shot from behind? My mind was starting to fade. I heard someone arguing loudly, but I couldn't seem to grasp what was happening. Soon my mind and senses fell into an eternal slumber. The end. Yeah, that was a bad ending. Okay. Don't fight the man with the gun. That's why we saved. Yes. I knew that was going to happen sooner or later, so that was fun. Okay, stream over. No, I'm kidding. We'll reload. What is going on here? Stay put. An image crossed my mind. An image of Nicola so easily punishing the man in the cell without any remorse. If I tried to fight him, he would probably pull the trigger without any hesitation. I couldn't move a single muscle. Why is this happening? What is Nicola trying to do? I couldn't tell what he was planning, or even fathom what was going on in his mind. Now that's a good girl. Nicola! I couldn't see his face, but I felt like he was smiling. That's because he's dirty. Nicola kept the gun on me and moved away from Dante with me alongside him. I can only hope we're both alive when you wake up. What are you doing to me? Please, you have to. Before I could finish, he placed a cloth over my mouth. Oh God. I'm being kidnapped. I could tell it was soaked with something, and I felt my mind going hazy. The haze overtook me, and my legs started to give. I heard footsteps coming towards us. I can only assume the med were coming to investigate what was happening. And that was all I could remember. My head. I felt something warm under me, like a bed. I slowly raised myself up. What in the world was happening? I looked around to see a beautiful room. I wasn't sure where I was, but... Ah! I suddenly remembered what happened. Good morning. You slept well. Ah! Sitting next to me was Nicola. I quickly moved back. You don't look so good. How about a cup of espresso? Oh, that's right. Latte, right? With plenty of sugar and milk, too. Nicola! Why so loud all of a sudden? Where am I? Nicola calmly looked at me with his usual smile. We're at the Visconti Manor. What? Visconti? Why did Nicola bring me here? Why did Nicola betray the Falzone family? I didn't understand at all what was going on in his mind. Chapter 4. Yay! Second piatto. Without any explanation, Nicola took me to another room. There were 2 men inside. Right. One wore glasses and looked intelligent, and the other... Welcome to the Visconti Manor. Should I introduce myself? Gilbert! Look at him! He's so pretty. So handsome. Look at this man. He's perfect. I remember you, Signor Redford. Gilbert Redford. I don't like things being too formal. Call me Gil. Do you know this guy here? I do. No. His name is Oliver Haas. He's a lawyer. Oh, right. Oliver Haas. His name is Oliver. He's a lawyer, but he also sorts out our money and other things we probably need. He's so serious. Best man. The man named Oliver looked over at me and formally bowed his head. I bowed to him as well. We love him. Now then, let's get down to business. You haven't been told anything yet, have you? I haven't. I haven't exactly had time to explain. Come on. An Italian gentleman's duty is to show respect to such a fine lady. Oh my God. But I am a gentleman most of the time. Isn't that right, Pink? Are you? You've been acting a little sus and a little crazy. A little crazy, Nicola. It's okay. I'm into that. I'll take that as a yes. No. Don't take that as a yes. Don't put words in my mouth. Sir. Nicola shrugged and chuckled since I didn't respond. Seeing him act as he usually did made me almost forget that I was with the Visconti. Let's get back to the topic here. To be blunt, Nicola here turned on his family and came to me. Once a traitor, always a traitor. You may be here now, but the suspicion will linger. Oh, Oliver, you're perfect. Which is why many of our men aren't very receptive to Nicola's defection. They shouldn't be. Then again, Nicola has brought a gift that should shut the mouths of any skeptics. And that's you, Pinker NeonNova. I'm a gift. Me? It's a strange story, but keep an open mind. First of all, you need to understand that you're someone special to the church. Am I? I'm God. And that's why you're to be protected. Special? Me? Yes. The church? Yes. Wait. What were they talking about? I sputtered with disbelief. This is all a terrible misunderstanding. I'm not special. I just live at the church. I've never heard a single person tell me anything otherwise. However, it is true that you possess some value to the church. The abduction attempt on you some time ago was tied to the church as well. Okay, Nickel. Somebody better start talking here. And making some sense. I don't remember this part of the story. What do you mean? I thought that was the Lao Shu and their human trafficking. The church's bishop, Josef von Rosberg. He's connected to the Lao Shu. The Lao Shu's abduction of girls in Berlin was likely something they did in order to find you. So the Lao Shu's targeted orphans because if they captured you, I'm sure they would have used you to bargain with Rosberg? Some Berg. Berg is the word, apparently. This can't be true. The Falzone has known about this for a while. Which is why they've kept you in their custody. Custody? If you were some normal girl, they could have done anything they wanted to protect you. Instead of keeping you at their manor, they could have sent you elsewhere. There'd be no reason for a boss to keep someone of no value nearby. I glanced at Nicola. Well, be careful. I'm just glad you're safe. Made it worth my while running down here. Has Nicola been looking out for me ever since the very beginning because of this? I didn't want to believe it, but the more I thought about it, the more sense it made. Keeping me at the Falzone Manor, under their care, living in that extravagant room, it was all because I had value? In any case, we decided to bring Nicola on board with the Visconti. We still don't know what value you really have with the church. The extent of our influence stops short of any connections to them, after all. But there is a reason for us to have you on our side. Let's just say you're ace against the Falzone and the church. We want to replace the Lao Shu in working with Rosenberg and the church. I've heard the Lao Shu is in a good situation simply by having the church's support. Hmm. The Falzone and the Lao Shu are after you. So I don't intend on having you leave my place for a while. I will promise you that I'll treat you as a special guest. Oh, you're so sweet. So how long do I have to stay here? Until I fulfill my goal. One of these days, these characters will have solid voices from me. Probably not. I am not going to lie to you like that. But you know, I do my best. I do my best here. His words were bold and resolute. Your goal? That is something you don't need to know. Gilbert tapped Oliver on the shoulder as if to reprimand him for replying coldly to me. My goal is to get the church's support and to take over this town by defeating the Lao Shu and the Falzone. What's interesting is that Rosenberg requested negotiations the moment we told him that you were with us. Once things are put into motion, our plan should move rather quickly. And once we're done with that, you're free to go wherever you like. Everything I had heard up until now was hard to believe. I had never even considered being anything more than what I was. But right now, instead of all the words they had spun together, something else concerned me. Of all the people, why would Nicola betray Dante? Why did he betray the Falzone? Why did he betray the Falzone? Who knows? After our talk, Nicola had brought me back into the room where I had woken up earlier. Nicola, I'm not special at all. Of course, you're a normal person. Ah! Nicola doesn't see me as the special someone they were talking about. Hearing that brought me a sigh of relief. But regardless of what we think, the church does see value in you. The Falzone also believes that to be true. But it's not that important to us why the church sees value in you. I can read. What is important is that you're someone special to them in the Falzone, which is why you're perfect for making deals. There was a lot I didn't understand, but there was one thing I really wanted to find out from Nicola. Nicola, Gilbert and Oliver aren't around now, so can you tell me something? Why are you doing all of this? I whispered my question to him, but I have nothing to tell you. Oh, what I can say is that you shouldn't even think of trying to escape from here. And with that, Nicola turned his back and walked towards the door. Wait! I reached out and grabbed his arm. You care for Dante more than the Falzone family itself. I wasn't at the manor that long, and even I could see that. I'm sure you have a reason for bringing me here. Does the Visconti have something against you, or is this part of your plan? I'm sure there's a good reason why. Well, aren't you optimistic? I'm here because I betrayed the foul zone of my own accord. There is no future for the foul zone. They fear change and are shackled to their outdated traditions and rules. You can't be serious. No matter what Dante does, nothing will change. He's just a hollow shell of a boss. Don't be rude. We love Dante. He's a good boy. They will fall apart sooner rather than later. In that case, I figured I would be a good choice to guide them after that demise. No, you're not that kind of person. Nicola, you wouldn't betray them. You're not the type of person who would betray someone. What do you know about me? You know nothing. I've lied many times before. I betrayed the foul zone family. You're just trying to avoid reality. I couldn't say anything in response. His harsh words stung at my heart. In any case, I'm a traitor. I'll be clipped sooner rather than or later. Sooner or later. Blah, 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 blah. Dante may do it as the foul zone's boss, or maybe someone in the Visconti will lay their hands on me. But whatever happens to me isn't important. I'm going to help the Visconti until the very end. Nicola freed himself from my grasp and made his way quickly out of the room. Meanwhile, devotion. What's going on? Nicola Francesca. I appreciate you helping me out like this, but are you sure you're okay with selling intel to me now that I'm a traitor? That doesn't concern me at all. Besides, you took action to save her. She went out of her way to speak to me at the church. I don't want her to be used by the Lao Shu. I'm a bit surprised you think so highly of her. I never expected you to have any particular opinions about anyone. Without responding, Orlok quietly walked away. Nicola freed himself from my grasp and made his way quickly out of the room. Yay! It was the day after I was brought to the Visconti. I drearily awoke from a restless sleep. I don't have any choice but to stay here. What would happen to me if I tried to escape? All I could imagine was that it wouldn't lead to a happy ending. My voice doesn't match the situation here, does it? Let's try again. They told me I could walk freely within the manor, but I still felt like a caged bird. I didn't feel well back when I first stayed with the Falzone either. But Nicola and the others all tried their best to make me feel at home. I was walking around the hallway when I noticed something. Where is that coming from? I heard laughter and cheering and began making my way towards the sound. Damn it, congratulations. What is going on? I peeked inside the lounge to find a bunch of people laughing and cheering. Ah, Pink, come on in. Um, what? I didn't know how Gil knew I was peeking in, but he immediately dragged me into the room. He's so cute. Look at him. Look at him. He finally decided to get married. Can you give him your blessing? Yes. Bless you. Oh, um, congratulations? Grazie. I gotta do my best to build a good home now. Good to hear. You better not cause the wife any grief. Oh, he's so cute. Look at him. Of course. Speaking of which, when are you gonna get hitched? You got a whole harem to choose from. Indeed, there are many beautiful women in this world. There's no way I can settle down. You will. You will. Gil, you're a goddamn playboy. Not at all. The trouble is finding someone who thinks I'm good enough for them. Oh. The ruckus here. It's different from the Falzone family. They're so open and frank with each other. His name is Gil, not Frank. To be honest, I wasn't fond of the Visconti. What scared me about them wasn't my abduction, but rather what I heard back when I was at the Falzone Manor. About the Burlone Mafia being killed and Dante's suspicion of the Visconti behind it. But they all look so happy. Girl, you know better. Murderers can be happy too. Wait, where's Nicola? I looked around and noticed Nicola standing quietly in the corner. He wasn't mingling with the Visconti, neither were they speaking to him. Nicola betrayed his family, so it seemed like the Visconti members didn't see him in a good light. Looks like the Falzone are all in a kerfuffle about your betrayal. That's a good word. I'm not surprised. The Lao Shu aren't very active now, but the killings are still going on. More have been reported, dead from all sides. The death toll keeps rising. The top brass is being targeted now too. About the Falzone's Capo Regime. Do you think he was dragged into this mess? Judging by the autopsy, yes. This isn't the work of any organization here. I snooped around a bit myself and I've come to the conclusion that someone other than the Burlone Mafia is involved. If that's true, then it's not an effective way for us to all move in our own ways. Guess I better get in contact. I froze, hearing Gilbert's words. What's the matter, Nicola? Did I hear that wrong? Did you imply that the Mafia should come together to talk? I hope you don't forget why I came here. Of course I remember. You want to get rid of the Falzone, right? But that requires time and preparation. There's a chance the Lao Shu will attack us while we go after the Falzone. And hey, You just said the killer might be someone outside of the Burlone Mafia. I don't want whoever that is to shoot us from behind. Am I wrong in thinking that? Not at all. You're absolutely right, Gilbert. I suppose I was rushing things. His words made me realize that I wasn't thinking clearly about my goal. Well, I do know how you feel, Nicola. He laughed in an effort to console me. It had already been 2 weeks since I began staying with the Visconti. Searching for his whereabouts in the manor had become a daily chore for me. Nicola, there you are. I'm glad I found him today. He had been busy since coming here, and I hadn't had much of a chance to talk with him. I spoke with Gil about how I was getting bored, so he allowed me to use his kitchen. So, I was wondering if you could tell me when we could dine together. I'll make your favorite meal then. Gil, huh? Nice to hear you're getting along. Well, he did tell me to call him that. You were there when he said it, weren't you? He looked away from me as I sputtered, then spoke nonchalantly to me. Unfortunately for you, but my schedule is a bit precarious now. Don't worry about what I like. Why don't you make something Gilbert likes? I'm sure he'll be happy. Don't pawn me off on other men. You're supposed to love me. What the hell, Nicola? Nicola? My shoulders fell in disappointment, hearing his unfriendly tone. Hey, Nicola, I was heading to the station. Can you come along? Sure. Well, you stay put, you hear? Sure. Crisis! Ooh, what's going on? It's Roberto. I was looking through the papers at my desk while taking a smoke when... Marco, we have a problem. He ran into my room, causing a breeze that blew the papers off my desk. Wah! What the hell, Robbie? Stop running around like a little kid. This is no time to be making jokes. We've got a problem, Marco. You said that already. Now calm down. Calm down. Calm down. You're going to give my husband an aneurysm, and then I'm going to have to be mad, Marco. Roberto combed his hair with his fingers and took a deep breath before speaking. Gilbert Redford has just arrived to visit the jail cells. Huh. So he came to pressure us for visitation. The problem is that Redford brought Nicola Francesca with him. I see. You're not surprised, Marco? Huh? Oh yeah, surprised. I never thought Nicola would side with the Visconti. Yeah, that's fair. Marco, I know you have intel on various matters from the outside. You know something that the police don't, isn't that right? Roberto, don't you dare accuse him. Be honest with me, Marco. Good grief. This is going to be a pain. Then again, he'll find out sooner than later. It looks like Nicola betrayed the Falzone family. He's a Visconti from now on, so you treat him like that way too. Roberto was glaring at me. Why didn't you share such important information with me? Then what? I tapped my cigarette on the edge of my ashtray as I responded in a calm manner. Robbie, we're cops. Whether someone in the mafia betrays someone else or not, it's none of our concern. True. Regardless of who goes where, they're still criminals. Roberto seemed to have accepted my response, though somewhat reluctantly. Suddenly, he raised his head and looked at me. Marco, what about her? Do you know where she is? She? Who? She, as in that girl. The one that Nicholas said was his friend. He called me his special someone. Thank you very much, Roberto. You'd be good to remember that, even though he's being a jerk to me right now. Oh, that girl. Marco, you know my name. Roberto wasn't seeing Pink in a good light. After all, he hates the mafia with a passion. He even assumed he was a mob mall, too. I was worried he'd misunderstand Pink if I explained her situation, but he was going to find out one way or another. I shrugged and decided to speak the truth. It looks like Nicola took her with him when he went to the Visconti. I could tell Roberto wasn't pleased. Judging by Nicola's association with Pink, she must have some value to him, which also made sense as to why he would take her with him. Francesca, how dare he hold on to her like that? Huh? Something wasn't right here. Right? Something's wrong with Roberto. This boy big mad. What the hell is he yapping about? He was making it sound like he had special feelings for her. That's not allowed. We don't like that. We don't like that at all. Roberto, don't tell me. I thought those two were barely acquainted with each other. Or are they actually a lot closer than I think? A thought suddenly crossed my mind. I often took Roberto to the church back when he first arrived in Berlin. I recalled that he seemed interested in Pink back then. I took a deep breath. Listen to me. Think of this as a lesson from someone who's lived longer than you. Be kind to the girl you care about. Where did that come from? What in the world are you saying? Just hear me out. I cleared my throat before speaking again. Roberto looked pretty irritated. Listen, Marco has it right. You need to be kind to the girls you care about. You don't be mean. Girls don't like being negged. Girls don't like being treated poorly. You be nice to the ladies you like. And the men you like. Just be nice. Unless they ask you to be mean, then you can be mean. But until such a time, you treat the people you like with kindness and respect. That's how you have game. Okay? Be good. Don't get yourself involved unnecessarily. Guardian and Tuka. Nope. You're telling me not to go near her? Okay. That's right. Nicola's marked by the foul zone now. Just stay put. Getting involved is only going to make matters worse. Correct. Roberto's shoulders were shaking. He seemed even angrier than before. If that's true, then she's in danger too, having to stay near him. If so, we need to save her at once. It is our job as officers to help civilians. Hey, Robbie? I already know. Berlone is ruled by the mafia. Roberto looked away from me and spoke as if he were trying to convince himself. The police here don't have the power to do much in this town. I know the people live here by turning a blind eye to the criminal activities carried out by the mafia. Everyone tells me the same thing, but crimes won't bring happiness to the people. Seeing that I wasn't saying anything, Roberto glared at me and began yelling. We, the police, stand by justice. We cannot allow such evil to run freely. I became an officer to stop crime. I became an officer to serve justice. Okay, Roberto, calm down. Calm down. You're at like a 10, sir, and I can't handle that. As long as we and justice stand as one, we will prevail over evil. Stop it. You're too intense for me, sir. Roberto, you're not. Roberto quickly turned and stomped out of my office. I grabbed a dust-covered report from my desk. It was a transfer document from the Rome office about Roberto Di Fio. A perfect score on his exam and skill set, background, education, close to perfect. His achievements amongst the young guys on the Rome police force were top-notch. But he seemed to have a lack of control when it comes to justice. He showed excessive violence against criminals. His life changed when he went off against the son of a politician who was caught on a misdemeanor charge. Which is why the Rome police decided to send him here to cool off. And here he is, in Berlone, a town run by the mafia. He would embrace the culture here and be nurtured into a fine officer. I bet that's what his superiors must have thought. Yeah. Send off an elite from Rome to the middle of nowhere. I wasn't surprised when he had problems here, especially with the place's character. To think he needs to live amongst criminals without anyone else to stand beside him. No wonder Roberto was frustrated. I lit a new cigarette and took a long, deep breath. He must have been one of those kids who always watched over the others. He's not a bad guy. That much I know after being with him this long. But he's still a pain in the butt. I chuckled and closed the report. Sure. Let's watch the other meanwhile. Difference. Let's see what it is. Nicola Francesca. Say, Nicola, why don't you spend more time with her? Why? I don't have the time. I don't think there's any benefit for her to associate with someone who's going to die soon. Come on. It's only a matter of time before I'm gone. Dante is merciless against traitors. Think about it. Letting a traitorous underboss go without punishment is going to hurt the family name. Which is why my days are numbered. So, you'd better use and abuse me while you still can. Nicola, let me do that. Let's focus. Gilbert, Hey, there's no telling what'll happen. Are you serious? If so, I may have overestimated you. Don't tell me I was wrong to put you and Dante on equal footing. Shut it. Just leave things to me. We love Gil. He's great. Sure. I was able to see him again. Only after spending a few more days without him in sight. Welcome back, Nicola. You're still awake? Lack of sleep isn't good for you. I feel like Nicola's been avoiding me recently. He was frowning at me as if I were a bother, but I tried to keep my spirits up. I heard you haven't been eating much recently. Maybe you're dining out, but there needs to be a balance with. Sorry, but I have no time to talk like this. I need to help Oliver with his work. Yes, I know. Oliver told me himself, so I brought out a plate of panini. A hot sandwich made with various ingredients between pieces of grilled bread. Thank you, terminology. They were stuffed with mozzarella, arugula, and prosciutto. I made you these. I figured you could snack on them while you do your work. Can you stop it already? All of your fussing is annoying. Nicola! Don't be mean to me. You can be mean to me a little bit. Actually, no. That's not allowed. I don't know what you're thinking, but things aren't the same as they were back when we were at the manor. I only approached you so that I could bring you here with minimal risk. Now that that's done, I have no reason to associate with you. Rude. Nicola looked down at me with an irritated look on his face. I don't care about you anymore, so would you mind not trying to pester me like this? I'm not kind to you like you mentioned before. That may be true, and you may not like it, but I still want to be with you. Even if you were just using me, I'm still happy to see you. For a moment, Nicola lost his words and seemed to be afraid to speak. Then Nicola, Wait a moment, Pink. CG! He placed his finger on my lips. He looked into my eyes with a flustered expression on his face. You're not thinking straight. Take a deep breath. Yeah, I'm not thinking straight. I can't do anything straight. I'm bisexual. Ha! Ha! No, I'm thinking just fine, thank you. A strange feeling came upon me as I began to pout, and Nicola tried to console me. Do you know that's what people say who aren't thinking straight, right? In any case, let's calm down a bit. Feels like it's been forever since he's called me by my name. But Nicola, I didn't have any words to follow that. Even if Nicola didn't stop me, I wouldn't have been able to finish that thought. But I couldn't just leave him be. It took me a while, but now I was starting to understand why. I decided to speak with him once he moved his hand away from me. Even if you were planning on using me from the very beginning, I don't think everything you've shown me has been a lie. Giulia mentioned before that you've treated Dante like your brother ever since you were little. You have that kindness deep inside of you, Nicola. You're really optimistic, aren't you? Ah! And with that, Nicola turned away from me and walked off. Maybe he was right. Maybe I may be too optimistic. But I couldn't believe that he was faking everything he said and did at the file zones. I want to know what he's thinking. I wanted to better understand him. This feeling grew stronger inside of me. The feeling was love. Okay, I need to go to the bathroom, so I will be back in a few minutes. All right, let's keep going here, shall we? Be back. All right. More days passed without my having a chance to see Nicola. Then one day, while drinking coffee in the lounge with Gil and the rest. Gilbert, I need to ask you something. Could I see you in your office later? Of course. Stop by whenever you like. Oh, Nicola, how about taking a break? Sorry, but I don't have the time. I'm busy, so if you'll excuse me. Nicola quickly turned and walked away. Oh. I gave a small sigh, seeing him hurry off without another word. Say, why don't you give up on this? You saw the look on his face, didn't you? Oliver spoke to me with pity as he dipped a biscotti in his coffee. These past few days, I had been enjoying coffee with Gil and Oliver here in the lounge. They were a lot friendlier than I thought and took the time to speak with me. I'm just getting in Nicola's way. I suppose that's it. He does have that troubled look on his face when he sees me. But I was scared that he was just going to disappear from me if I didn't try my best. It's too soon to give up, you know. I mean, he's a pretty good liar. Gilbert, don't get yourself involved. Come on. I can't let a nice girl like her cry like that. She's not crying. I'm just saying. Now, then, about Nicola. Sure, he may be trying to avoid you, but that's not the only thing on his mind. What do you mean? Exactly as I said. I'm not saying anything philosophical here. You know, why don't you tell me a little bit about you and Nicola? Like what? Like, what does he say to you? He doesn't want to talk with you anymore? I traced back my conversation with Nicola, then shook my head. He didn't say that to me, but he mentioned that he only approached me because he wanted to use me. He also said he wouldn't treat me as kindly as he did before. Uh-huh. Gil gave me a wide grin and continued to question me. What about you? What do you want the kind Nicola from before? I was happy with how Nicola took care of me back when we were at the Philzone family. But I'm not trying to make amends just so he can keep treating me kindly. Figures. You keep going near him, even when he's giving you the cold shoulder. I don't know him at all. It's hard to tell whether he's lying to me or not, which is why I want to get to know him better. I see. Well, it looks like you have your answer then. Huh? I've known Nicola for a long while. He used to act as a liaison between us and the foul zone. So we've been seeing each other every so often. Gilbert! Oh, really? I didn't know that. He doesn't like being intruded upon. He's a great listener, but a horrible speaker when it comes to talking about himself. Hell, I still don't know what his drink is. Indeed, it seems as though he has a knack for hiding his likes and dislikes from others. Huh? What's the matter? Nicola doesn't talk about himself? Yeah. He must like keeping secrets. Nicola talked to me about his childhood. Did he make that up to mislead me? No. That seemed too real to be a lie. Maybe he spoke to me about it to bring me closer to him. But if he wanted to do that, he could have lied about something a bit simpler. From the looks of it, I think Nicola feels bad about treating you the way he does now. Maybe he's trying to put distance between you now so he doesn't feel bad for you. That could be true. That couldn't be true. I can read. How about we make a bet? A bet? On whether or not my guess is right. Gilbert, you're getting yourself into trouble again, aren't you? Oliver sighed in disbelief, but Gil was grinning at me like a child. I love Oliver. The bet is between you and me. What do you say? I don't think we'll ever get an answer. Nicola wouldn't tell us, even if we did ask him directly. I have an idea that's sure to work. How about it? Guess I didn't need to ask. All right. I thought for a moment, then nodded hesitantly. Soon, I would find out how bad of a decision it was to agree to Gil's bet. Yeah, Gil's a troublemaker. But we enjoy that about him. We like troublemakers, don't we? I can't seem to rest well recently. No surprise, considering I need to take care of both her and the Visconti's work. No, She's not a reason why I'd be tired. I let out a sigh and chuckled with scorn. I decided to drag my tired body back to the new room that I called home. That's Gilbert and... I was captivated the moment I laid eyes on you, and now I'm a slave to my desires. Gilbert's awful. I love him. Hold on, we need some coffee. I want you to accept my love. Gilbert held her hand and kissed it gently. Wait a minute, Gil. No, I can't wait. You set my heart ablaze with passion. What the? Gilbert then forced Pink into her room. Wait, Gil, you're too close. Sorry, but bear with me a little longer. What is going on here, Gilbert? Nicola came storming into my room and he forced Gil off me, pulling him away as I sat up on the bed in surprise. Don't get in the way, Nicola. Love is free, isn't it? Hey, did you bring her here as a gift to me when you came here? I can do whatever I want with her. Gilbert! Love? There's no love here. It looks like you were only trying to force yourself on her. Nicola is smiling. No, wait. For some reason, he seems really angry. Girl, we being dumb. You're an Italian gentleman. I need to request that you act like one. Besides, I brought her here under the condition that you would protect her. If you're a man of honor, I can read. If you're a man of honor, keep your word. He was smiling as usual, but his eyes were glaring intensely at Gil. Noticing the bewilderment on my face, Gil suddenly laughed and shrugged. Guess I won the bet, huh? Or do you want to see more? No. Gilbert, what do you mean, bet? She was so down in the dumps that I decided to do a little role-playing. Oh, Gilbert. Nicola, if you really didn't want to get involved, why bother come in and help? Forget the lies and save your effort for the truth instead. And with that, Gil quickly took his leave from the room. Stronzo. Derogatory slang in Italian. Thank you, terminology. Thank you, Nicola. I hesitantly spoke to Nicola as he muttered profanities at what just happened. You got tricked, boy. I'm happy you did that for me. Girl, you in danger. But I'm sorry to deceive you like this. I didn't think Gil was going to go that far. Well, I could tell you were seriously not enjoying that situation you were in. Don't scare me like that. Ah, he was worried about me? Girl, yes, he was. He may be a mafia man, but he's still a good man. Oh, can I ask you a favor? I looked straight at Nicola. I won't ask you to treat me the same way you did back at the Falzone Manor. Instead, could we rebuild our relationship from the beginning? I want to know who you really are, Nicola. I don't mind that you're not treating me well, as long as we can talk. Though, to be honest, I'm not sure why I want to talk to you so much. It's because you love him. I won't speak to you as nicely as before. Is that fine? Yes. Thank you, Nicola. Why are you so happy? Because I just am. Meanwhile, silence. Dante Falzone. We get to see what's going on with Dante. Nicola betrayed us? If that's true, we're in a lot of trouble. An underboss betraying the family isn't normal. Yeah, if that's true, it's seriously gonna affect the Falzone name. I don't see why we'd need to worry, since our next step is inevitable. Under normal circumstances, killing Nicola was to be expected. Let him be. My voice brought silence to the salon. Boss. I looked around the room with a cold, blank stare. No one said a word. I returned from the salon back to my office and fell heavily into my chair. Acknowledging Nicola's betrayal will affect the morale of the Falzone family. Nicola's betrayal is still a matter of speculation instead of truth to many here. Nicola may have fabricated a betrayal in order to infiltrate the opposition. Some within our organization believe that to be true as well. Nicola, what are you thinking? A thought crossed my mind, which I shook out of my head. If Nicola's betrayal is real, then I'll finish him off myself. But I slowly exhaled as I continued to think. Oh. Because I just am. Nicola let out a sigh, but I could tell he was looking at me with kind eyes. He's not nice. Stop it. He's very mean. But not the meanest. From here onward, Nicola would never avoid me like before. Ever again. Chapter 5. Damn, we making progress. Amaro. The season was transitioning slowly from autumn to winter. Gil said he would let me go back to the church after he was done fulfilling his goal. But when? How much longer do I have to wait? I asked Gil a number of times, but his answer was always the same. That he couldn't share the family's plan with me. I suppose that makes sense. They weren't just, they weren't going to do, I can read. They weren't going to just do nothing. I knew something was happening. But they wouldn't tell me what it was. I understood why, but it still bothered me. Another morning had arrived at the Visconti Manor. I sighed and slowly got myself up from bed. I wonder if I'll see Nicola today. Even if we don't have time to talk, just seeing him around would be nice. Yesterday, I felt I had finally gotten closer to him again. I suppose I should thank Gil for setting all that up for me. The memory of Gil's ridiculous scheme came rushing back. That was far too excessive. Even if it was a setup, I still feel bad for what Nicola had to go through. I got dressed and thought about what happened yesterday. Once I was ready, I opened the door to step into the hallway when... Oh! I suddenly saw him passing by outside my door. He looked at me and smiled a little. Buongiorno. Buongiorno, Nicola. The weather looks nice today. Oh, you are right. And our conversation ended. Well, I suppose a morning greeting should be this short. If only we could talk a little bit more. It took long enough to finally mend things, too. Oh, I found a lot of interesting things in the kitchen here. They have ingredients and seasonings that I've never seen before. I spoke with Gil and he said he imports a lot of things he likes from overseas. Gil said he liked American pizza. Not only were the toppings different, but even the dough wasn't made the same as in Berlin. Oh? It seems like I got his attention. His response wasn't a simple reaction. I could tell he was actually listening and even open to conversation. I was thrilled that we continued speaking until we arrived at the lounge. After you, Signorina. Thank you. Nicola opened the door for me very naturally and escorted me in. I know it was something he did as a gentleman, but even that made me happy. Cafe latte, I presume? Huh? I'm going to make myself an espresso, so I can make your cafe latte as well. Thank you. You seem to be in a good mood. I remember when you used to make them for me before. It felt a little nostalgic. Oh, but this is something you normally do for others, right? Mine would just be one of them. Even so, I'm really happy that you would spare any time for me. Ugh. Nicola's eyes widened in surprise, hearing my appreciation. Are you trying to flirt with me? Huh? Yes, I am. Nicholas turned around to go prepare the coffee. I stared blankly at his back as he left. His attitude seems to have changed from before. He was still acting as a gentleman, escorting me and preparing coffee for me. I won't speak to you as nicely as before, Is that fine? He was right that he wasn't speaking to me in a sweet way anymore. But I was sure that deep down his kindness hadn't changed a bit. I suppose he's just a little strange. We like a little strange sometimes. His thoughtfulness was just part of his personality. Thinking about it made Nicholas seem cuter than ever. Ah! Stop being right in my face, sir. Here you go, with plenty of sugar and milk, just the way you like it, right? Absolutely. Thank you, Nicola. I'm very happy. We say his name so much. I don't. It's weird. Well, next time I'd appreciate it if you tone it down a notch or two. No. Nicola looked away a bit, then sipped his espresso. I looked at him, studying his face. Nicola? I decided to ask him for a special favor. We just made up. Don't ask him for favors. It was late at night when I suddenly heard a knock at my door. Nicola, you came. Oh my god. Well, you did say I could come late at night. I'm a child. I have a horrible mind. Are you sure? Are you sure I'm not bothering you? Oh my god. What's wrong with me? Somebody stop me. Okay. No, not at all. I was thinking you wouldn't be able to make it tonight, so I'm happy that you did. So? You asked me to be here for a reason, right? Inviting someone into your bedroom at night begs the question. That's not why I called you. He has the right idea. Don't you remember what I said this morning? Do you mind if I ask you a favor? What is it? I want to talk with you more. I know you're busy, so if you have any time to spare, that would be great. The only time I have is late at night. Is that okay with you? Why, yes. Any time of night is fine, so please come by. Understood. Of course he's a playboy. Of course he's gonna misunderstand. And he doesn't misunderstand. He actually is just implying that he misunderstood. I invited him over so we could talk. Nicola, however, shrugged and sighed. Most girls who ask me to chat just use it as an excuse for another motive. Nicola chuckled jokingly. I wasn't sure what to say. Sir, I'm married to a woman. Spiritually, not legally. Oh, I understood. I understand. I knew you were serious about talking. You can rest assured that I didn't come here for nefarious purposes. You came here just to tease me, sir. You're mean. Nefarious? Oh, did you want me to? The blushing on your face says so. Stop it! Huh? Not at all! Come now. I'm just joking. You're being pretty mean tonight. I'm spending my spare time with you. So the least you could do is give me some leeway. Well, I suppose. I settle down, then turn towards him. Thank you, Nicola, for making time for me like this. You're very welcome. It may not seem like much, but the smile on his face meant so much to me. There's a lot I want to ask you about. The people here are really nice and treat me very well, but I'm also still anxious around them, and scared sometimes too. We're all the same in the mafia, though. Nicola calmly looked at me and spoke with some edge to his voice. You should have kept your distance from me, too, while you still had the chance. Nicola! Sure, you're in the mafia, but you're still a person, Nicola, to me. Oh. Oh. He was looking at me with a puzzled look on his face. I know that sounds strange, but you aren't scared of me? Don't. Don't make me regret not being scared of you, sir. No, you do scare me at times. I know you're capable of harming others for the sake of your family. I was terrified when I saw him torture one of his own back in the underground cell. Yeah, we remember. I'm still scarred by that. But you're not just scary, okay? You're also very pretty and handsome. Nicola, there's much more to you than that. I had so many thoughts and feelings towards him that words weren't enough to describe it. Well, as long as you know I'm someone to be feared. Nicholas smiled bitterly, then sighed in a weary way. It is my responsibility for bringing you over here. So if you'd like, I'll try and make some time to talk with you like this again. Thank you. I know it's too much trouble, but I really appreciate it. Well, I do feel bad being too cold towards you when we first got here. Really? What Gail told me crossed my mind. Come to think of it, Gil mentioned that you probably felt bad for treating me the way you did. Why do you keep bringing up other men when we're together? Stop it! That's true. It did feel terrible. I lied to you, abused you, and later tried to put distance between us. I could tell he was speaking to himself with scorn. I looked at Nicola. I don't know which one to pick. Do I call him out for being a liar? Or do I ask why he's talking to me again? Why are you talking to me again? Why are you talking with me like this? Even with what happened yesterday, I thought you were going to keep ignoring me. He smiled with a troubled look on his face. It's just that you were a lot more stubborn than I thought. Also, I guess I have a sliver of a conscience, even as a mobster. Conscience? Mind you, I think it's a two-way street when it comes to being fooled. I should have been able to lie to you without any remorse. But you... How do I word this? You're surprisingly sharp, despite that happy-go-lucky look on your face. It just scares me, seeing how you act like a child and an adult at the same time. Please don't look at me like I'm a child. I kept ignoring you, but you still kept at it. I just started feeling guilty, just looking at you. Huh. I listened carefully to his words and thought about what he said to me. What is it? You said I act like a child and an adult, and that I'm happy-go-lucky, but I'm not sure how to react to that. I'm complimenting you. Sort of. Nicholas sighed, then tapped his chest with his thumb. I hate to say this, but my heart is telling me that those things are what make you special. Seeing his smile was confusing to me. Should I be blushing? Happy? Sad? Angry? I don't know. Oh. Cupcakes. There's cupcakes in my house that I can eat later. Hee hee. I tried to calm myself down, feeling my heart racing even faster. It always bewildered me, for as long as I stayed at the Falzone Manor, why you were so kind to me, Nicola. So, when I learned that you were only treating me kindly to use me, it actually cleared the doubts from my mind. Wait a second. Huh? You do know that most people would be upset about what I did. I suppose, if the situation were different, I may have been too. But I had far too much on my mind since coming here, so it took me all I had to simply try and close the gap between Nicola and myself. You didn't curse or hate or despise me, not even a little. It was strangely painful, knowing that you were putting distance between us, but hating you because of it didn't really cross my mind at all. Nicola frowned and looked at me as if I were some mysterious creature. Oh, and even if you were deceiving me, I don't believe all of it was a deception. We're too sharp for this man. He got nothing on us. At least, that's how I feel. You're right. Not everything I said was a lie, but... Well then, you shouldn't feel bad about what you did or what happened. Yes, he should. Yes, he should. He exposed us to some horrible things, and I'm not happy about it. So he absolutely should feel bad. Okay? Nicola rubbed his forehead with his fingers and was silent. Soon he sighed and muttered quietly, "You're surprisingly forgiving. I have to say, I don't really see that all too often." "I think that's a wonderful compliment. Thank you, Nicola." "Now it's your turn. Is there anything you want to talk about?" "Let me see. Actually, if I can ask you again, why did you portray the Falzone family?" "Why are you sighing?" "Listen carefully, Pinker. I'm fine with you being honest with me. But did you think you'd get a straight answer to this question?" He was right. That question may have been asking for too much. Betrayals are a life or death matter, so I can't really answer your question. You do understand, don't you? "Yes, and I'm sorry I asked." I lowered my head apologetically, to which he calmly asked me a question. "Did you like being with the Falzone?" "Huh?" I raised my head and blinked, bewildered by his sudden question. Before I knew it, I nodded somewhat hesitantly in response. "Yes, everyone there was kind to me. Well, maybe they were only treating me well because I had some value to the family, but that's not true. You know how the church wants you in their possession? Well, only a select few knew about it. Dante and myself, to be exact." Julia, Leo, and everyone else, of course, didn't know, so their kindness was genuine and from the heart. That only makes me want to go back there even more. Seeing me smile at him with melancholy, Nicholas smiled back. The Falzone prioritizes their bloodline, so sensitive information is kept a secret. Dante is very strict about keeping secrets. Does that mean he only trusted you, Nicola? Perhaps. But I tarnished his name as boss with my betrayal. Oh, sorry about that. I guess talking about Dante without him around isn't fair. What do you care? You betrayed him. I noticed something was on his mind. What do you think? Should we hear more? Or no? I want to hear more. Well, I want to hear more, if you don't mind. Huh? I smile at the look of surprise on his face. I thought I said before that I wanted to know more about you. That means I want to hear about anything and everything. I can't talk that much about my responsibilities back at the Falzones. How about when you were little then? I spoke about it once before. After a brief pause, Nicola nodded. He paused again and finally spoke. Don't tell Dante. Okay. Okay. I will, 100%. I'm going to call him right now so he can listen in on this. Of course. Dante's mother passed away, but Dante didn't shed a single tear. Even as a child, I thought that was odd, so I talked to Dante after the funeral. Why didn't you cry back there? Aren't you sad your mother's gone? I'm sure it's okay to cry, you know. That is why we have funerals after all. Don't worry, there's no one else around. He kept silent for a while, but soon tears started to flow from his eyes. Oh, look at their babies. Oh. I'm a Falzone. I shouldn't cry, even if I'm sad. I'm not supposed to cry. Oh my god. Seeing him trying his best to hold back his tears made me realize Dante is alone. He couldn't show any weakness as the next boss to be. He's still so small, too. Dante? What is it? I'm older than you, and we're family. I don't have any brothers, so... What? Well, think of me as your older brother. You can rely on me. Oh my god. Say something, will you? You're the same Nicola I've always known. Calling you brother is... Hey, don't say that. A bit embarrassing. So I'll call you what I usually do. But I always wanted to be better friends with you. You know so much that I don't. Babies being friends. My weakness. Ah. You think I'm the type to leave a kid like that alone? Dante's father was very strict, so someone had to support him. Or at least, that's what I thought. Although what I'm doing now is a far cry from supporting him. Why are you crying? His expression grew concerned as he noticed tears welling up in my eyes. I was just thinking about things. Dante had been burdened from childhood by his position as heir of the family. I could only imagine how comforted he was when Nicola told him that. Nicola must have supported Dante from that day forward. He suddenly extended an arm out. His fingers gently wiped tears from my eyes. Thank you, Pinker. I didn't do anything. You cried for Dante, and that's worth my thanks. I closed my eyes to fight the tears. Nicola must still consider Dante someone dear to him. He wouldn't show an expression like this if he hated Dante. If so, then why? I couldn't seem to figure it out. Meanwhile, memory. Nicola Francesca. I haven't reminisced like this in years. I have no clue why I even spoke to her about it. Come to think of it, there's one thing I didn't tell Pink about. What didn't he tell me? What didn't he tell me? Dante. I think I said it before. You can cry if you want. There's no one around here. Dante. Something wasn't quite the same with Dante. I found out the next day why he was like that. Julia told me that Dante had been scolded quite badly by his father that day. His dad's mean. I can't take it anymore. I want to leave. I don't want to be in the mafia. Oh no. Baby. Dante. He behaved as such a perfect heir to the family name from such a young age. I could only imagine what life was like, trying to live up to everyone's expectations. I shoved the memories to the back of my mind as I headed back to my room. I still have a lot of things to do to fulfill my mission. I couldn't seem to figure it out. Why did Nicola betray the Falzone family? Why did he betray Dante? He didn't. He's trying to get rid of the family so that Dante can be free. My heart. Help me. I forgot that was this storyline. The night quietly deepened as I pondered over my unanswered question. A few days later, Gil came to me after dinner. Looks like we've got a lead on the killings. Ooh. What is it? Nothing new, but we're going to have a summit with all the families. Ooh. Ooh. You know what that means? You know what that means? We get to see Yang. Ah! The Burlone Mafia heads were coming together. I could tell very quickly that it must be a critically urgent matter. I'm thinking of having both of you attend the meeting. Huh? Me? Fine by me. Nicola answered with a straight face. But I could tell the idea wasn't sitting well with him. So why is she coming along? He's right. Why me? I'd just be in the way. Oh, just to show face. I need to show the other two that the Visconti has the advantage with you on our side. How would I be an advantage to you? Hey, the Falzone and the Lao Shu both want you in their possession. You'd be my ace in hand. When I'd actually use you is another matter. But it's only for the bosses, right? I'm not sure I should really be there. Are you scared? Well, even if you are, I'm going to need you to tough it up. Okay. Okay. We're protecting you after all. Why don't we work together and help each other out? I will, yes. These games are simp simulator. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Gil's request didn't make sense. He was asking me to help, but it was quite clear that I didn't have a choice. I think the killings are being carried out by a third party outside of the mafia. Oh, hiccups. If so, then it's really no time to be squabbling amongst ourselves. If we start fighting each other, the civilians are going to get caught in the crossfire. We're not that bloodthirsty. We want to avoid casualties as much as possible. I don't remember his accent that I was giving him. Or his voice. I guess it's not really much of an accent. Gil looked at me sternly and pleaded in a serious tone. Please, you have to help. For Berlone. I want to avoid casualties too. They waited for me to continue. I took a deep breath and spoke with resolve. I'm not sure how much I can really help by being there, but if it's to help make the meeting a success, I will go for the sake of Berlone. Grazie, Signorina. Gil had a satisfied grin on his face and laughed with high spirits. Nicola, do you have a moment? After dinner, I managed to catch Nicola before he returned to his room. Sure. What is it? About the meeting. Are you really going to go too? Of course. Isn't there an option for you not to go? I figured you'd be lonely without me around, my dear Pink. Stop flirting with me. Don't, though. Stop joking. I'm serious. Because isn't it dangerous for you to appear in front of Dante? For you to appear in front of Dante? That's 8. My concerns stem from what Nicola himself had mentioned to me before. In any case, I'm a traitor. I'll be clipped sooner or later. Dante may do it as the Falzone's boss, or maybe someone in the Visconti will lay their hands on me. At the very least, he wouldn't try to attack me at the meeting. After all, these meetings are held under a strict no-arms rule by the Mafia oath. I guess I'm worrying too much. Well, I can't say it's completely safe. There are ways and means. That aside, you should be worried about yourself. Oh. And with that, Nicola turned around and took his leave. Meanwhile, suggestion. Where are we going? To the police station. Stronzo, that idiot. I unleashed my anger with a swift kick to the desk. Hey, Robbie, watch it. Whose desk do you think that is? Marco, I thought you already left. Same to you. So you got yelled at by the chief, eh? What the hell did you do this time? All I did was suggest we do a full sweep of the Mafia residences. Oh, well, I can see why he yelled at you. But we need to act now, or else. Roberto, you suggested that because of the girl, right? If so, you don't need to worry about her. The Falzone and the Visconti aren't serial killers. They don't go around whacking civilians. I frowned, hearing Marco try to console me with baseless reassurances. How's it baseless? This old police officer has lived in Berlone his whole life. He knows how the mafia operates in Berlone. Roberto knows nothing. He is a baby. He's an infant. And on what basis are you certain of that, Marco? They're dirty scoundrels and thieves. They'd happily kill a sister of the church. I'm not a sister of the church. I just live there. Oh? Come on now. You can't be. She's in danger just by being next to Nicola Francesca. That man betrayed his own family. She's bound to be his next victim. The chief frowned at my suggestion earlier. I knew he wouldn't take that well, especially with how rooted the mafia was in this town. Aside from my suggestion being too revolutionary, the only other reason I could think of was in retaliation to the death of the Falzone family capo regime here in our cell. It seemed the chief was scared of any potential repercussions from that death. Chief, did you have a chance to look through my report? Chief? Your report is beyond reason. I can't allow it. I disagree. With the right moves, we can eliminate the Berlone Mafia and... The chief interrupted me with a glare. The Falzone, Domenico Giordani, died in our cell. That's something that never should have happened. The Falzone isn't happy about it, and making amends is taking up too much time. We should be able to offend those lousy criminals as much as we want. We're also getting hounded by Gerald Paris. He's livid that we've smeared his reputation with these killings. And it's all your fault. You said to bring the Falzone's capo regime here on petty charges. You'd then force him to accept whatever evidence you had to stamp out the Falzone. Roberto, you suggested that, and look at the results. Yeah, bad policing. There is no way we can get a dead man to support any evidence. The evidence you brought against him was suspect to begin with. Like I said, we need to take action in order to bring... Just shut up already. You may be an elite on the track to stardom, but your suggestion puts us in the hot seat with every damn person in this town. What a letdown. Now get out of here. The police here are pure scum. The absolute bottom of the barrel. I can't believe he's whimpering in fear from the death of one lousy criminal. I slammed my fist onto the desk, but my anger didn't dissipate. You know, you should go home and rest already. Nothing good comes from stress. Just wait until the opportunity comes to take action. I didn't take notice of Marco's words or his departure from the room. First, the Visconti needs to be dealt with. I need to find incriminating evidence to use against them. If I have that, if I have to, I'll go myself and... That's right. Why didn't I think of it earlier? Not a single one of these hoodlums has the sense of justice that I do. If so, I should do this myself. Who needs their help? I'll do what I need to do, just like before. I'm the only one who can serve justice. Okay, Batman. And with that, Nicola turned around and took his leave. Sure, I'm worried, but I was more worried about him, so much so that it was all consuming. This is getting real good here. The day of the meeting finally arrived. And we're going to take a quick break so I can get some water. Here, because I could use some. Just making a quick note. What I'm going to do this time, though, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. That is not what I want. Well, each member surrounding the area. You know? Okay, I know. I'm going to mute up and I'm going to go for a quick break. I'll be back. I'm back. Sorry about that. I need to keep getting up and getting drinks just because I'm still a little bit sore from my migraine. But it doesn't hurt, it's just my body hurts. So we just need to keep getting up. Which not a huge deal for me, and I'm sorry for all the interruptions, but let's keep going a little bit longer here. Okay. Amidst the pressing silence, we walk towards the casino entrance. Let's make sure we didn't miss any text here. No, we didn't. Okay. I began to chat casually in an attempt to stave off the surmounting tension. I used to walk through the streets here because the church was so close by, but I never thought I'd actually go inside the casino one day. Most of the patrons here are tourists. Falzone family doesn't dabble in gambling, so I've never been in here for that purpose either. Let's have some water. Water. Really? It quelled my anxiety to hear him respond just as casually. We'll go in from the back to the second floor. The meeting's going to be held in the private room. We followed Gil, who was taking the lead. Nicola was walking alongside me at my pace. This casino is operated by the government, so no one family has leverage here. The director here does offer us help, and we borrow the place in emergencies. Director, a word meaning director in Italian. Thank you, terminology. Come to think of it, I recall seeing guards on the casino some days. I always thought that meant an important person was visiting. It was probably us using the place. Oh, but there are some days that VIPs do come by. I never expected it to be used in this way. We finally arrived in the front. Oh, we finally arrived in front of the doors leading into the room. The heavy doors slowly opened, beckoning us inside. There in the room was Dante. Gil called out to Dante, who was looking quite irritated. What's with the face, Dante? You still hate casinos? Gambling defiles the pride of men of honor. If I had the choice, I wouldn't step foot in here. Dante looked beyond Gil. He seemed to be looking at Francesca. Dante's expression didn't change, and neither did Nicola's. They both must be uneasy. I was sure they were feeling upset deep down. I looked around the room as I thought, and suddenly my gaze fell upon Dante. Oh, buongiorno, Dante. I bowed my head to say hello to him, since it would be strange not to. You seem to be doing well. Yes, I'm doing fine, somehow. I brought someone who wishes to speak to you. Huh? A man hesitantly appeared from behind Dante. I came because I wanted to apologize to you in person. Please, do forgive me. He was the person who tried to kill me when his family was being held hostage by the Lao Shu. They spared him. Are you okay? The boss saved my life from the Lao Shu. Then, are they safe? Yes, they are somehow safe and far away. That's good to hear. It did feel strange talking to him like this. I was even a bit scared seeing him, as you should be, baby girl. But hearing that his family was safe made me sigh with relief. So I'm back with the family, and I've returned to my usual duties. I made an oath to never betray the boss again. I'm going to atone for my sins. He spoke boldly and with resolve, and then he scratched his cheek a little. And, are you all right? Me? I know I don't have the right to ask, but I was just worried about you. After all, you did save my life. Thank you for thinking about me. I'm doing just fine. They've treated me quite well. After he heard my words, he began glaring at Nicola. So why is the person who denounced my betrayal standing over there? I'll leave that to your imagination. I have no obligation to tell you. Nicola chuckled and stared coldly at him. Nicola's reply riled the man up, who spoke in an aggravated voice. What the hell are you thinking? You said it yourself. Betrayals aren't tolerated. After all that high and mighty speech you gave me, you get to walk free. Looks like I made myself an enemy. What'd you expect? You do know I saved your life, right? Or would you have preferred that I actually killed you that night? Why, you... Stop. Dante calmly commanded his irate soldier to halt. He shut his mouth, but I could tell his anger was still swelling inside. His eyes burned with hatred. What eyes? Come to think of it, what I saw back then was so shocking I didn't have a firm grasp on things. But when I thought back on it, understood. What about him? You want him clipped? Well, he may have some information that we don't have yet. Leo, do you mind patching him up so that he doesn't die before we get more intel? Nicola actually made an excuse to keep him alive. It was then I felt a cold air against the back of my neck. Ooh, yeah! I quickly turned around to see a man walking into the room. It looks like I've kept you all waiting. It's him. He's arrived. Despite his apologetic tone, he had an eerie smile on his face. It was clear this man wasn't normal. I had never seen him before, but somehow I knew who he was. Exotic attire and an aura of prominence. He was the Lao Shu's leader, Yang. My man! Yang. Late as usual, Yang. You were late too, only I arrived on time. I thought men who were particular of time were frowned upon in this country. He took his seat at the table. Yang suddenly began to forget. I can't talk. I'm too flustered. Yang suddenly began to converse with a provocative tone. It's been a while since we've all met. I thought, though I personally see no value in doing so. Frankly, I have no trust in the Foul Zone or the Visconti. You're making it sound like we did something to you. I heard a rumor. What rumor did you hear? The Foul Zone's underboss turned on his family and went to the Visconti. How disappointing. I suppose the Foul Zone's boss lacks the power to keep his men together. You're free to be disappointed as you like. I have no interest in pleasing you. I do. We work in the same town, yet we all suffer from distrust. Quite the problem, isn't it? Yang continued to try and provoke them. Then he looked at Guild. I thought I misheard when I heard that the Visconti accepted Francesca into their fold. Once a traitor and all that. Foolish is a nice way of describing what you've done. I call it headhunting. I hope you know what that word means. Nicola's a talented guy. The Visconti accepts any and all who can demonstrate value to our family. I can only hope it goes well. I'll accept your good wishes, but I'd like to end this conversation. I'm the head of the Visconti, so I'll do as I please when it comes to my family. Well then, what kind of excuse could you conjure up in relation to her? You all know the church's Bishop Josef von Rosenberg is, don't you? His Excellency has asked the Laoshu to take a special young lady into custody. Special? Is he referring to what Nicola said? But I thought the Laoshu wanted to sell me to the church. Ah, how His Excellency must suffer to know she must live in this mafia-infested town. So I went to take her far from such danger when the Falzone intervened. That's not what happened. Oh? Yang was staring at me with his golden eyes. Please look at me. Please. It makes me so happy. It was too late. It was too late for me to take back what I just said. I tried to keep up a strong front and looked straight back at him. The Falzone family saved me and my friend when the Laoshu attacked us. Attacked is such a strong word. Are you saying that didn't happen? Nicola spoke in a harsh tone. Yang shook his head. We have the hardest time adapting to the fine mannerisms of this country. I suppose we were unintentionally rough back then. Okay. I'll forgive you. Unintentionally? With the injuries Elena had to bear? Hi, Rand. Yang's unapologetic attitude was getting on my nerves. Don't be mad at him. But now it looks like the girl is with the Visconti and not the Falzone. Look at this man. Look at him. How goes the gangster simping? It goes great. I'm not even on this man's route and I'm simping for him. Look at him. Look at him. Can I assume you two have a deal in place for that to have happened? Oh, the Forbidden Fruit classic. I already decided that I'm going to do his route next. And it's going to be violent and wonderful. He's the yandere. Target acquired, yes. He's the yandere. It's one of the best routes. That's impossible. Gilbert bluntly denied Yang's allegations. There's no way the Falzone family would work with the Visconti, especially considering how different our philosophies are. Stabby boy. Oh boy. Stabby love. Oh boy. Yep. Very stabby. Listen, sometimes the heart wants what the heart wants, and sometimes the heart wants to be stabbed. I can concur with what Gilbert said. However, I do have my suspicions of the Visconti at present. She was our guest, but was later abducted when someone betrayed us. The Visconti not only took the person in, but also hasn't returned our guest to us. Everybody wants me right now. One might see this as a declaration of war against the Falzone. Ooh, Dante, don't be mad. Calm down. Falzone, I have an idea. Why don't I take her while you two settle your disagreement? Yes! Wait, I'm on Nicola's route. I'm not allowed to go with Yang yet. Dante's brow twitched. It was clear that he was irate at Yang, but Yang continued to smile eerily. Berlone isn't as safe as it was before, what with all these bodies being found. Handing her over to Bishop Rosenberg is the best way to ensure her safety. As a maiden of the church, being in such company would be a great honor. Yang, that's... Silence, Francesca. You have no speaking rights here. Oh, he's so pretty. Don't tell me the Visconti is holding her down by force. I think the only one in this room who's gonna hold me down by force is currently speaking. It's the hair, it's the eyes, it's the fact that he would murder everyone in this room for me. It's a lot. It's a lot of things. If so, the Laoshu will move to action to take custody of her. Nonsense. She isn't locked up in some room or anything. She's free to do what she wants. If so, then I'd like to hear her thoughts. It's the face tattoo, too. Also in this route where he's like, I'm gonna kidnap her from you. He's also the only one who's asked my opinion on this thing. He's like, I'm gonna kidnap you from everyone and take you away from everyone else. But hey, what are your thoughts on this situation? Seeing as how you've been kidnapped twice. I could tell now everyone in the room was looking at me. He does. And we love that for him and me. That's not what I wanted to do. I should be careful with what I say. I want to say with Visconti. Senor, I appreciate your concern, but I would like to stay with the Visconti and remain in Berlin. And may I ask the reason why? Oh, god damn you, Yang! You're gonna make me out myself that I love Nicola here? Thank you. Well, I'm not sure how important I am to the church, but if I am someone special to them, they would come to me, wouldn't they? I don't understand why they would ask someone else to take custody of me on their behalf. I'd rather not leave town without a firm understanding of the situation. That should make sense, right? Fine. The Falzone will honor her decision. Thank you, Dante. Fair enough. I can't deny your reasoning. He's smiling at me. Yang narrowed his eyes and grinned at me. It seemed he was taking an interest in me. I'm gonna have to save a lot during his route. If I remember correctly. I don't. I was playing this Nicola's route and I already got a bad ending. It was fun. Anyway, the reason we're here to discuss is a more important subject. So let's get down to it. Nicola, would you escort her outside? Crazy boy and bad ending, you don't say. Yeah. But it was due to Nicola. He was kidnapping me to take me to Gilbert here's mafia family, and I struggled, and I got shot. And I died. Escort her. Sometimes I can't talk, okay? I do my best, but... what's his voice again? Understood. Nicola nodded, taking me by the shoulder and leading us to the door. I thought you were just jumping routes early. No, I can't. Once you're into a route, you're kind of locked into it. And I'll get all the endings of a route before I switch routes. That was something. Nope, that's not his voice. That was something. That's close enough. Nicola mumbled in awe as we walked down the hallway. You didn't flinch at all, despite being surrounded by all the bosses. I was scared the whole time, but I needed to make a statement. I looked down at my feet and laughed, thinking about what I just went through. Look, my legs are still shaking. They were somewhat mean to others. Yeah, these ones just, I don't know. It's hard to explain with this one. I think your first playthrough in PioFiore it's pretty easy to get on the Nicola route, and then after that it's a little bit easier to diverge from the Nicola route. I think even the first time I played this game, I got the Nicola route first. I probably couldn't have left the room without your help, Nicola. Trust me, you've outdone yourself. I didn't expect Nicola to praise me. It felt a bit strange. And thank you. This meeting is finally underway because you stood your ground. If you didn't, the meeting may have ended right then and there. It's good to know I helped. I hope they reach some kind of resolution. I don't want to hear of any more deaths in Berlin. I suppose it's all up to the outcome of the meeting. Yes, and that'll be up to Gilbert now. I have to admit, I'm surprised that you stated so firmly you wanted to stay with Visconti. Well, it's not like I could have gone back to the church, even if I asked. But I thought you felt more at home with the Falzone family. Even asking to be taken into the church custody would have made more sense since you're a member of the church. Well, my wife's not there right now. The kiddos say that fell off the church, trying to find where it's come from. Oh, hi, kiddos. Alice is listening to me. My baby's sleeping. Last time I was streaming, she had the zoomies and came and bit me. It was not very cash money of her. Hi, baby Alice. She was feeling very spicy last time. There are a number of reasons why I'd rather stay with them. I don't trust the Lao Shu. Yang asked me for my thoughts, but they were the ones who first tried to abduct me by force. Also, I know this may sound odd coming from me, but I'm not sure if I can trust Bishop Rosberg if he's working with the Lao Shu. But the Visconti is keeping you in custody only because they see some value in having you in their possession. Even so, Dante, the Falzone, didn't tell me what was going on. In comparison, I feel like the Visconti was more forthcoming in telling me everything. Oh, big coughs. I'd rather be in the know than be left in the dark, being used for the sake of being used. And because Nicola was with the Visconti now. Despite being branded as a traitor, he was still someone I could trust. Nicola? About that person Dante brought with him. You mean the guy I tortured? Oh yeah. Last stream we saw someone get tortured. That was spicy. I thought you were a terrible person back then. It was shocking to see how ruthless you could be. I just couldn't get my mind straight, seeing the violence played out in front of me. But now that I look back, you had to punish him because he broke the family rules. Yet, you wanted to find another way so you didn't have to kill him. At least, that's what I think. That's why he cut off his ear instead of finding a reason. That's why he cut off his ear instead, to find a reason to avoid killing him. You're overthinking things. He turned his face away from me. I bet Dante knew that too. Too soft. He said that, not about what happened, but rather about Nicola himself. Oh, I need more water. Num num. They knew each other to the very core. could finally see how they work together. I then looked towards the closed doors. I could only hope for the best to happen. Chapter 6. Contorno. Let's get to the end of the casino part and then we'll call it a night, I think. How long was this meeting going to take? We were outside the room, eagerly awaiting the outcome when... Who is that? It's been quite a while since we last met. I hope all is well with the Valzone. No, with the Visconti, Signor Nicola Francesca. Look at him! Look at how pretty he is! He's not a root we're allowed. Look at him, though. I'm pleased to see you here. I hope you enjoy your time here at the casino. In front of us was a flamboyantly dressed man with an unusual mask on his face. And this beautiful signorina here is your friend, I assume? It's none of your business. A fancy boy. Yeah. Nicola responded sharply, but it didn't seem to phase the man at all. That's unfortunate to hear. I was hoping you would introduce me. He quickly turned and bowed to me as a formal gesture. Sorry for keeping you waiting, Signorina. I am in charge of the casino, a director of sorts. Sebastiano Gallier, at your service. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Oh, hello. My name is... You don't need to give him your name. He has nothing to do with us. There's no need for you to reply. Nicola. Ah, again. How unfortunate to hear. But I suppose I can accept that. Not knowing a fine lady's name is a lovely mystery in itself. But I was hoping I could verify something. If I was a bit closer to the Signorina, then I may be able to share what's on my mind. But I suppose there's not much I can do without hearing your name. He's always like this. It's best you just ignore him. It's two playboys facing off. Nicholas seems suspicious of the man, but what should I do? That's not what I wanted to do. Stay silent. Aside from that, has the area been properly secured? Yes, of course. We are doing our very best to ensure no sensitive information is leaked. They continued to speak as I tried to decide whether to give him my name. A state-operated casino working with the mafia. Right? I would hate to see what would happen if the public were to find out. That makes sense. The Italian government wouldn't just let it go. It would also deter tourists from coming to the casino. I assume the men from each family have only the best standing guard. If so, I believe they would be more reliable than a paltry security I can offer. As long as everyone's eyes are open, the meeting tonight should go swimmingly. Yes, well, as long as nothing happens, we'll be good. I must say, the meeting is taking longer than I expected. I suppose it must be a serious matter. Ah, could it be, perhaps, in relation to the Burlone killings? Director, how? I heard how several soldiers of the families have been taken down one by one. Uh, it finally dawned on me. I could see why Niccolo was trying to place distance between us and the director. The director continued to speak very openly. Perhaps something like 20 have died now? Oh my gosh! Well, that number can be easily dwarfed by such an event as gunfire breaking out between the families. Still, it's highly unusual to hear soldiers dying on a nightly basis. I can only assume the sorrow felt by each prominent member of the families. He continued to speak about what happened as if he were singing a song. Oh, so I did take the right tone for him. Director, I've said a number of times before, but if you want to be safe, mind your own business. I strongly suggest you keep your distance from our circumstances. Ah, right you are, Signor Francesca. I apologize for my unwarranted intrusion. He bowed deeply. Something tells me I shouldn't trust him. Meanwhile, converse. Okay. Do I remember these men's voices? With Pink and Nicola gone, we could finally get down to business. Business! So, neither of you are involved in the killings, right? Doing away with one's enemies, then killing one's own men to avert suspicion? I do enjoy such games, but even I can't lay my hands on someone in a police cell. Then again, Falzone is close to the police. I wouldn't be surprised if he could do so. Why would I kill my own men? And a capo regime at that. Don't be a fool. Yeah, these three just need to all get into bed and solve their differences. This boy's a bottom. Furthermore, it makes no sense for me to risk losing my connection to the police. That's true. Well, it makes sense to me. But for such a great reward, he may indeed play that card and take on the risks. Redhead is a top, and a mean one at that. No, Redhead's a switch. Look at that mean face. That's sadomasochism. He could like giving and receiving pain. Stop with the button if scenarios. This isn't going anywhere. Gilbert, that man is a top. First of all, we need to know who did it. Gilbert? Or Yang. We need to know who did it and whether it has wanton murder or some kind of revenge. Agreed. There would be little point in killing our men without leaving a calling card to send a message. Their message wouldn't come through if the who and why weren't clear. Gil? Yeah, he does have some. Okay. Redhead and Gilbert are switches. Dante is a bottom. Only in bed because he's so reserved the rest of the time. That man needs to let go of control. Maybe someone just went on a killing spree to off our men. Perhaps. I don't sense a motive behind it. Have you received any threats or messages? The Foul Zone haven't received any. Same here. Then the payoff is the killing itself. The classic love story there. The sadomasochist, the playboy man who's got some sub vibes, and then the in charge man who needs to let go and not be so reserved. Classic love triangle. It's easy to buy grudges. In our business, we are prominent targets for revenge. But this is happening to all of us. There have been more than 20 killings. Don't you think it's a bit much? So the enemy's purpose is money? They could have been after the rights given to the Burlone Mafia. Yang's on to something. Gilbert. Yang worded what was on my mind. The enemy was after the Burlone Mafia. Then the perp could be trying to reduce our numbers. Caused all this dissension and chaos, then find an opening to strike. I can read. It's not an unfeasible strategy since we aren't in the habit of working as allies. What organization would even think of eliminating us to gain rights to the town? A stupid one, no doubt. Their execution isn't very efficient. No pun intended. Anyways, we can't have our soldiers fighting each other without knowing who our real enemy is. That would only make matters worse for us. With what happened over Pink, I'm sure there are concerns between the Foul Zone and the Lao Shu, but Dante and Yang must already know what I'm going to say. How about we call a temporary truce until we figure this issue out? Silence filled the room. I could tell what they were thinking, but this was the best option for now. Yeehaw. Something tells me I shouldn't trust him. Now then, I need to keep watch over the main hall, so if you will excuse me. The director elegantly bowed and departed. The door slammed open, and the first person to come out was Gil. I could tell by his expression that things went well. Look at him. We're done. We have a temporary truce in place. That's good to hear. I guess this all paid off. Good work, Gilbert. Yeah, what's going on outside? I'm not too sure, but I hope it doesn't affect what's done here. Let's go and take a look. I bet someone lost a big bet or something. Gil seemed to be taking it lightly. On the other hand, Nicola looked quite tense. Why you let me go? Who do you think I am? Isn't that... There you are. Roberto, what are you doing? Roberto was being detained by security. Roberto's anger was palpable as he glared at us. What happened? Casino security. He looked like he tried to enter the casino from the back. What's going to happen, Gil? I'm not the only one here, so I'm going to have to I'm going to have to ask the others about what to do. About what to do about him. I got it! I did it! I can read. The casino security brought Yang and Dante to the scene. Kill him. I see no reason to let him live. I love Yang. Do as you please, Gilbert. You're the head of this meeting tonight. After asking their opinion, Gil turned his attention to Nicola. What are your thoughts, Nicola? Instead of looking at Roberto, he glanced at me for a moment before speaking. Well, it's almost like I talk for a living, aside from streaming. I just don't usually read for a living. I just talk, non-stop. I don't think it's wise to turn the police against us now. With what happened back at the cell, I think it's best we keep things quiet. How surprising. But killing a cop or two would be so easy to cover up. Good job, Yang. Yang, let's leave it up to Gilbert. We don't have any say in this. What crossed my mind during the exchange of words was, kill him. That's not an option. Don't do it. I decided to support what Nicholas said. If possible, I'd like you all to spare Roberto. You stay out of this. You don't have a say in this either. Shut up, Dante! I mean, work would be a bit too interesting if you had to talk to boys like this. At work all the time. Right? I know I don't have any right to speak here, but there was no way I could stay silent when someone in front of me could die. Nicola gave a weak smile and then tried to cover me. We shouldn't talk about this in front of a lady. You're right. Gil agreed and then quickly glanced around the area. If we're going to argue about him, we should talk about it elsewhere. It isn't good to have the Burlone bosses standing out in the open like this. Hey, stop it! No. Roberto got himself loose and quickly drew his gun. No! I should have saved! He then pointed it straight at Nicola. No! Oh no, I did a bad, I think. No! I jumped between Nicola and Roberto. What? He couldn't stop. Oh no! He couldn't stop his finger from pulling the trigger in time. I closed my eyes and braced myself for the pain of the bullet. A shot resounded through the night. It doesn't hurt. Pink, my boys! I slowly opened my eyes. It looked like the bullets missed its mark and flew off into nothing. Oh my god. Well now, that really came out of nowhere. Are you really a cop? It appeared that Gil knocked the gun out of Roberto's hand. Good job, Gil. Someone has a thought in their head, and it's not me. Gil kicked the gun away. It slid towards Yang's feet. Make one more move and I'll shoot. Good job, Dante. Dante pointed his gun at Roberto's back. Of all the things you've done. Nicola quickly held me in his arms as I faltered and fell to my knees. I'm fine. I'm not hurt at all. Why? Nicola was looking. Roberto, not Nicola. I have Nicola on the brain now. Roberto was looking at me with a dazed expression on his face. Why did you get in my way? I was trying to save you. I was this close to killing him. Someone's crazy. Why? Roberto kept mumbling. He was obviously unaware of his surroundings. Hearing his words, I don't need to be saved. I didn't ask to be saved. Unable to hold back my emotions, I raised my voice at him. I've never asked you or anyone to come and save me. I owe a lot to Nicola, and here you go trying to kill him. I can't possibly forgive you. But I was just... He's a criminal. This man is crazy, and not in a hot way. We're gonna save before I die. You weren't listening at all, were you? Nicholas saved you. He set things up here to save you from being killed. He may be mafia, even a criminal, but he still saved your life, and yet you're missing something important as a human. I'd never lost my temper like this before. I couldn't stop my emotions from flowing out. But perhaps because he was opposed by a civilian he was trying to protect. Roberto fell silent. That's fine, Pink. But he was trying to. Nicola was on the verge of death just a moment ago. Just calm down, Pinker. Ah! I held my breath, hearing his stern words. Nicola looked straight into my eyes, and then suddenly brought me closer to him. Don't move. You're bleeding. I'm bleeding? Huh? Nicola tore his handkerchief and wrapped it around my arm. What happened to me? It was then I realized I had been grazed by the bullet. Okay, I did get shot. Just a little bit, though. I didn't really feel anything, though. I almost died? I did die once tonight. Suddenly my body shook. I see. Yang, stop being so interested in me right now. I'll get to you soon enough. Yang squinted a bit and looked at Roberto with keen interest. I see I was right all along. We should have killed him. Yeah. Yeah, we should have. But, you know, I'm a good girl for now. The only reason he was able to get a shot was because we all failed to pay attention. Oh, really? I beg to differ. I believe that only applies to you two. Yeah, right? Wait your turn. I know you're aggressive and lusty, but, like, you gotta wait. Okay? I got, like, 2 more chapters to go until I get to you. And a few endings. Wait. Yang. You better not tell me you noticed and still let him take a shot. What's it to you? Rather than bicker, we should have attended to the matter of his fate. And that's why he's the best. There's no need to kill him. Nicola coldly interrupted their conversation. I don't see why we should stoop to his level of disgrace. On the other hand, if we do kill him, we would be put in a precarious position. Disgrace? Roberto shouted with rage. But Nicola simply brushed him off and didn't even look at him, because Nicola's so cool like that. Gilbert, I'll take her and return to the manor. Is it okay if I leave the rest to you? Yeah. Let her rest. I'll send for a doctor to come and see to her. Thank you. Nicola carried me in his arms and headed towards the parking lot. Okay. One more meanwhile. I don't ever want to stop playing this game. God damn it. Gilbert Redford. Roberto, what are you doing here? Marco. I heard a gunshot nearby, so I came here as quickly as I could. What's with the blood? Don't tell me. No one died or anything, but our guest was grazed by his bullet. He tried to get in the casino from the back and was detained by security. Then he fought himself loose and fired a shot, in Arca, of all places. I doubt this is what defines detective work. Wouldn't you say, Marco? I'm sorry, guys. I don't see why you should apologize. No, I am his superior. His actions are my responsibility. Marco, you don't need to apologize to these. Shut the hell up! Good, someone needed to tell him finally. Keep your mouth shut. Marco punched Roberto and shouted. Then Marco straightened himself to us. My lack of supervision led to this mess. I'll take responsibility for what happened. Marco, is he really worth it for you to go so far to protect him? Sure, he's a goddamn idiot, but he's still a good guy. Is he? Is he? He's doing what he can to try and protect this town. I figured it's why he came here, to try and get info from you guys, but to protect this town, What a beautiful idea. Only Berlone's mafia is being killed. I'm sure it must be convenient for the police to see someone doing their job for them. That ain't true. Our mission is to ensure the peace of this town. He didn't take Yang's bait. I guess he's still got a grasp on things. Don't make fun of Marco because he's old. I love him. Gilbert, don't be rude. He also knows how to handle us. Roberto's got nothing compared to him. That's the respect you put on Marco's name. If the town is the target of mass murderers, we'll find the culprit and put a stop to it. As cops, our job and our mission is to seek justice for those who have wrongfully died. Who those people were doesn't matter to us. They're still people. What to do? There was no real meaning in having Marco take responsibility for this. All that would do is remove an officer who knows how to work with us. But Roberto, I'm with Yang. We should clip this guy as soon as possible. Gilbert says, let's murder him. Yeah, Roberto looks so stable, right? Like, look at him. That man is stable. I've seen guys like him before, with hatred in their eyes. He's going to cause more trouble if we let him go. Thoughts, Dante? Illuminate me with your smarts. I've known Marco for a long while. I know he's talented and can be fully trusted. The Falzone family would like to honor his apology. Killing an officer would do us no good. I see. Well, some of our guys have been in Marco's care, no doubt. An earthquake has left shake. Right? How about you, Yang? Do what you please. To use Francesca's words, I have no interest in whether a dog dies or not. Ugh. Though killing him would be a quick solution. We've been talking longer than I care to. I can't be bothered to continue. Me and Dante look at each other and nod. There you have it, Marco. We'll just assume nothing happened tonight. My deepest thanks. Seeing Marco bow his head deeply towards us, I had no choice but to chuckle. Nicola carried me in his arms and headed towards the parking lot. All right. And that is where we save. All right. Just put those down for now. And we'll go back to just chatting for a bit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye. We'll see you next time.